Oh, I get it. You guys do love each other.
Is it your favorite movie?
I don't have one. I mean, they all
Really?
mean something to me. Message was so exciting because that was my first one. And then A Walk to Remember, you know, that's the kind of movie that I want my own kids to see growing up because it's just got such great, great values. And Nights in Rodanthe was so passionate and so real because this is really about adults. And it reminds you that love can happen at any age and that it can be just as passionate at any age. So I've been happy about all of them.
Amanda! Amanda! I can't even hear myself thinking here. What?
Tell us about this Epiphany School that you set up, that you have the kids travel to 26 countries
Yeah.
when they graduate?
No, it's
all over their years.
Yeah, if you come in as this is a school that my wife and I founded. It is we live in a small town, about 30,000 people, and there's only one high school in town, public high school. And it's okay if you're a certain kind of kid. It's okay for most kids. And my oldest son went there, and he was happy. But there are other kids who don't want that. I mean, it's a kind of a rough school, and it's in the rural South, and the education isn't great. So my wife and I, we decided to found a school. It's Christian, but you don't have to be Christian to go there or even teach there because we don't teach any doctrine. It's more about be a good person in life. It is college prep in that we really try to get the students ready for very challenging colleges. And then it's really centered on global travel. And that's important to me because I've had the good fortune to travel around the world. I've been to so many countries, and every time I go, I learn something new, which is why I'm very much looking forward to going to Brazil, because I've never been there. This is going to be new. I'm excited. And because I know how important that is, I want to share that. And remember, I live in the rural South. There are kids in my town who never leave the state of North Carolina. So they come in as a freshman, and we travel them around the world, a week and a half here, 14 days there. So by the end of their 4-year high school period, they will have visited about 26 countries on 6 continents. They will have spent over 200 days abroad. They'll be fluent in Spanish. And this is really important in today's day and age because the world is becoming more global and interconnected, and it's just a great education.
It's a great experience.
Yeah.
In some of your books, there are loves that challenge all the odds, distance, time.
Sure.
Do you really believe in this kind of love, and why?
Whenever I write a novel, my primary goal is to just write the most interesting and enjoyable novel that I can. I don't know that it necessarily goes to my beliefs, although I do believe that love, everlasting love, is possible. I think that, I don't believe that it's always, the passion is always way up here. I think if you're married for a long time, the passion goes this, and then it goes up, and then it goes down. And that's part of just the cycles of life, so to speak. But I do believe that there are people who, love each other forever. And maybe the love changes from when they're young. It's full of passion and excitement. And toward the end, it's full of comfort and familiarity. And which one's better? There is no better. It is what it is. It's love, and it does this.
But sometimes in your books, people live apart for a long time, and then they become together. So when it happens in real life, sometimes it doesn't work.
No, of course. Nothing is ever perfect, but in my novels they are. That's why people love them. They want to believe that's possible. And it is. It may not be possible for you at this point in time with this person, but it's always possible.
Today it would be easier with email and cell phones and Skype not to write letters.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be easier to keep the distance and keep the love, the relationship?
Yeah, it's funny because I have email, and my son does Skype. My oldest son is away at the university, and so he gets on Skype and he talks to his siblings, his brothers and sisters, and his mom. But when I talk to Miles, I write him letters.
Really?
Just old-fashioned letters, put the stamp on, he goes to the mailbox and he opens them up.
And he enjoys it?
I would think so, because no one else is writing him letters. It's always fun to get mail in the mailbox. And so so that's what I do. I probably write him 1 or 2 letters a week and just updating him on what's going on, and that's what I do.
But for your for your books, if there were emails and Skype and
yeah, it's not as romantic as a good old-fashioned letter. Come on, you got to see the handwriting and the scribbles and the scrawls. You got to know that he had that in his hand, not just run through a printer.
But what makes you write about couples that live apart for part of the novel?
Well, what you want to do whenever you create a novel is, or at least what I want to do, is to make it a little bit different than anything I've done before. So sometimes couples get together and then they stay together. But other times, for instance, in Dear John or The Notebook, they're driven apart. That's kind of one of the elements of any successful love story. And I certainly didn't invent this, but it's essentially that if there's no conflict, there's no story. You've got to have something that keeps the couple from being together. Sometimes that's distance. Sometimes that's Garrett Blake can't get over the death of his wife in Message in a Bottle. Sometimes it's I can never imagine myself with a girl like that, like Landon Carter in A Walk to Remember.
Or The Family.
Right, or The Family. That was Romeo and Juliet, of course. Even Shakespeare, the conflict. And so you need something, and my goal as a writer is to, I guess, explore all of those different conflicts that keep people apart so that the novels continue to feel fresh and original.
And how young people react to those love stories where the lovers are apart from each other?
Oh, well, a lot of them feel so sad. They get all these letters like, why would you do that, right? But I think most people realize that this can happen because this is a very common thing. For instance, you might have in high school boyfriend and girlfriend, but now once they go off to the university, they go to different places. Or where I live, it's a very military area of the country, so soldiers might get shipped off, whether it's a man or the woman, and then they're not together. So you've got school reasons, you've got the family might just be moving reasons, you've got economic reasons, military, all of these different reasons that can create this distance, and then you either overcome it or you don't.
What do you think that has in your novels that touches everyone's hearts?
I think it has, and I'm guessing here, this is based on the letters that I have received from people. I think it's that they like the characters and they relate to the characters. That's partly it. Number 2, the stories feel very real. They don't feel like a soap opera or a Hollywood movie or novels that maybe other authors write. These feel very real because they're very ordinary people. I write about students, or I write about a soldier, or I write about a police officer or a teacher. Just very basic, ordinary, non-glamorous people. And it doesn't matter whether you're glamorous or exciting or not. Love is still a wonderful emotion.
I just wanted to ask again about your trip to Brazil. Why did you decided to go now, and what do you expect?
I get invited to go to most of the countries that publish me, and obviously if I went everywhere, I'd never have time to write, so I have to pick and choose my trips. I have never been there. I've got a lot of fans in Brazil. I mean, I don't know why, but I'm very popular there, and so it's a way, I guess, to meet a lot of the readers, ask them which stories they like, sign their books, get photographs with them, of course, talk to different people in the media or whatever they have me do. It's funny, every country does different things when I go on tour. Every country has their own system. For instance, if I go to Italy, I never do any book signings. No book signings. In Germany, if I do them, they're massive productions. They're on stage, and I've got German actors, and I read in English, and then they read in German, and that's what I do there. In Poland, I do no signings. So every place is different. So I guess what I'm saying is I have no idea what I'm going to be doing in Brazil. It's whatever my Brazilian publisher thinks is best. I'm sure it'll be a combination of interviews and maybe going to some schools and maybe some book signings and whatever they need.
And have fun.
And have fun. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
It actually doesn't matter where it is in the sky or where you are in the world. If you hold your hand up and close one of your eyes, it's never bigger than your thumb.